Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Nishit Kumar with the evening news. The headlines. Over 53% of votes polled in first phase of Bihar Assembly elections. Defence Minister appreciates role of Indian Army in handling current security situation. COVID recovery rate reaches close to 91%. Delhi University Vice Chancellor suspended for dereliction of duty. And in IPL, Mumbai Indians win the toss, elect to field against Royal Challengers Bangalore in Abu Dhabi. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. In Bihar, around 53.54% of eligible voters exercised their franchise. A maximum of 62.5% voting was recorded in Dhauraiya constituency, followed by 60.97% in Banka and 60.84% in Katoria Assembly constituency. Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora said in New Delhi that very few incidents of malfunctioning of VVPATs were reported, which were replaced on time. Mr. Arora also appealed to the voters of Bihar to show the same enthusiasm in the other 2 phases of the election to beat all the previous records of turnout despite COVID-19. Addressing the media, Secretary General Election Commission Umesh Sinha said, few stray incidents have taken place and in some of the places, malfunctioning of EVMs and VVPATs were reported, which were replaced in minimum possible time. Over 2.14 crore electorate will decide the fate of 1,066 candidates. In NDA, BJP is contesting on 29 seats, JDU 35 and Hindustani Awam Morcha 6 seats. The Vikashsheel Insan Party has fielded 1 candidate. Among the Grand Alliance, RJD is contesting on 42 seats, while Congress has fielded 21 candidates. The CPI-ML has 8 candidates in the fray. Besides, LJP has fielded 42 candidates, while RLSP on 43 and BSP on 27 seats. More from our correspondent.
Out of 71 constituencies, 35 were Naxal-infested. No untoward incident was reported from Naxal-affected areas. Tight security arrangements were made for the polling today. This was the first election in the country amid COVID pandemic situation. Thermal screening of all persons was carried out and sanitizers were made available to them at all locations during the polling. All polling booths were sanitized before voting. Political fate of 8 cabinet ministers, including Prem Kumar, Ram Narayan Mandal and Jay Kumar Singh, has been sealed in this phase. In assembly elections in 2015, RJD bagged 27 seats, JDU won 18 seats, BJP got 13, Congress 9 and others secured 4 constituencies. With KK Lal's report from Gaya, Swati Rakheja for AIR News.
Elections are being held in 3 phases for the 243-member Bihar Assembly. Apart from the 71 seats that are going to polls today, 94 seats will go to polls in the 2nd phase on the 3rd of November and 78 seats in the 3rd phase on the 7th of November. Counting of votes will be taken up on the 10th of November. Campaigning has gained momentum for the 2nd phase of the state assembly elections in Bihar. Star campaigners and senior leaders of various political parties are addressing public meetings and election rallies. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed election rallies at Darbhanga and Muzaffarpur in Bihar today. The Prime Minister said, people of Bihar have taken a resolve to defeat again those who brought Jungle Raj in the state and who looted Bihar. He exhorted people to vote in favor of NDA candidates to speed up development work in the state.
एनडीए सरकार इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर जो निवेश कर रही है, गांवों के पास बेहतर सुविधाएं विकसित करने पर जोर दे रही है, उसका लाभ बिहार के लोगों को भी मिलने वाला है. इसके लिए 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का स्पेशल फंड बनाया गया है.
The Prime Minister said the opposition have neither any development model nor any experience. Mr. Modi alleged that these people will take the state backwards. He claimed that under Nitish Kumar, Bihar is on the path of growth. Prime Minister Modi said the party, which is responsible for closing down industries of Bihar, is now promising development to the people of Bihar. He said if they come to power, even private companies will flee from Bihar, not to speak of government jobs. Mr. Modi said Bihar elections is an opportunity to re-elect those who pulled the state out of darkness. Mr. Modi said Bihar moved from misgovernance to good governance, from darkness to light under Nitish Kumar. He said the opposition leaders who only thought of their families can never understand Bihar's expectations.
Senior Congress leader Rahul Gandhi addressed an election rally today at Valmiki Nagar in West Champaran in support of the Grand Alliance candidates. He alleged that the NDA government has not fulfilled their promises made to the farmers. He said that farmers are very angry with recent three-farm reform legislations and they are agitating. Mr. Gandhi further alleged that these acts are an attack on the farmers and their lands. He said during the lockdown, the migrant workers who lost their jobs were treated very badly by the Nitish Kumar-led government. The Congress leader will also hold his second public meeting at Kusheshwar Asthan in Darbhanga. Grand Alliance Chief Ministerial candidate and RJD leader Tejasvi Prasad Yadav addressed rallies in Kuchai Kot and Kathea in Gopalganj district. Mr. Yadav reiterated in his public meetings that if voted to power, employment will be provided to 10 lakh people. He alleged that the incumbent government led by Nitish Kumar has failed to meet the expectations of people. Rashtriya Lok Samata Party RLSP President Upendra Kushwaha held road shows and public meetings in Motihari and Jhanjharpur in support of candidates of the Grand Secular Democratic Front. Jan Adhikar Party Chief Pappu Yadav addressed a public meeting in Katihar where he tried to corner Chief Minister Nitish Kumar on the issue of corruption. Senior leader of the CPM, Brinda Karat, alleged that due to lockdown, people of weaker sections of the society and the poor have been forced to live in pathetic situations due to loss of jobs. She said both the governments at the centre and the state failed to mitigate their problems. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that the government is committed to facilitating the army in their forward movement on the road to reforms and will help them in achieving advantages in all the areas. Addressing the Army Commanders Conference in New Delhi today, he said the initiatives undertaken by the Indian Army in the current security environment makes him proud. Mr. Singh asserted that the government will leave no stone unturned to strengthen the armed forces. He said the Indian Army has been successful in addressing several challenges to the security and sovereignty of the country since independence. The Defence Minister added that the Army has played a significant role in neutralizing threats of terrorism, insurgency or external attacks. India has leaped across a significant milestone in its fight against COVID. The national recovery rate has reached 90.85%. With overall recovery of nearly 72,60,000 patients so far, the recovered cases in the country stands at nearly 12 times more than the active cases. Nearly 59,000 patients have recovered and were discharged in the last 24 hours. The new confirmed cases reported in the same time span stood at nearly 44,000. The active caseload of the country has also fallen below 8%. The total positive cases in the country today stands at 610,803, which comprises merely 7.64% of the total reported cases. With a high number of COVID patients recovering every day, along with a steadily falling and sustained low mortality rate, India's trend of registering decreasing active cases continues. Health Minister said the fatality rate stands at 1.50%. Bengaluru Urban District has the country's highest COVID active cases. As per the latest data available, the district has 46,628 active cases and has reported 3,778 deaths due to the viral infection. Our Bengaluru correspondent says that the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagarapalikhe and Health Department is making efforts to reduce the number of COVID positive cases in the district. More from our correspondent.
According to the latest data released by COVID War Room, Bengaluru Urban District has a recovery rate of 84.7% and case fatality rate of 1.1%. To mitigate the number of positive cases, the Health Department and City Municipal Corporation has increased the number of tests and improved the contact tracing. The City Corporation Administrator Gaurav Gupta today reviewed the testing facilities in primary health centers and also visited the East Zone Command Center to find out their measures to enforce home home quarantine norms. The Nagarpalika has also introduced new rules for wearing masks. It is now made mandatory for those travelling in four-wheelers to wear masks irrespective of them driving alone or with windows closed. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Over 53% of votes polled in the first phase of Bihar Assembly elections. Defence Minister appreciates the role of Indian Army in handling current security situation. COVID recovery rate reaches close to 91%. Delhi University Vice Chancellor suspended for dereliction of duty. And in IPL, Mumbai Indians win the toss, elect to field against Royal Challengers Bangalore in Abu Dhabi. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अरे भाई सुना तुमने? अरे इस मुश्किल समय में सरकार ने हम कामगारों की मदद के लिए एक और बड़ा कदम उठाया है।
कौन सा कदम?
पात्रता के नियमों में छूट के साथ ESIC ने अटल बीमित व्यक्ति कल्याण योजना के तहत मिलने वाली राहत राशि को बढ़ाकर दुगना कर दिया है। हाँ
अच्छा, पात्रता की शर्तों को पूरा करने वाले जरूरतमंद बीमित व्यक्ति राहत के लिए ऑनलाइन दावा www.esic.in पर करें। अधिक जानकारी के लिए अपने नजदीकी ESIC शाखा कार्यालय से संपर्क करें या फिर टोल फ्री नंबर 1800-112526 पर कॉल करें।
Welcome back. In Tamil Nadu, the active caseload of COVID-19 patients has come down further to 26,356 today. The number of new cases has also dipped marginally to 2,516, including 685 in Chennai. The case fatalities crossed the 11,000 mark today with the death of 35 people. Meanwhile, the State Chief Minister, Edeppadi K. Palanisamy, interacted with all the district collectors and medical experts. More from our correspondent.
The Chief Minister's interactions with the district collectors through video conferencing and with the medical experts comes at a time when the current phase of the unlock gets over by coming Saturday. He told the collectors 7,372.25 crore rupees has been spent on managing the COVID-19 pandemic so far, including treatment and preventive works. He asked all the district administrations to focus on crowd management during the ensuing festival season. It is expected that the state government would soon come out with its fresh set of guidelines on the unlock very soon. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
Kerala continues to report surge in COVID cases as 8,790 new cases were confirmed today. 7,660 people recovered from the infection today. 27 more deaths were confirmed due to COVID, taking the death toll in the state to 1,403. The total active COVID cases in Kerala rose to 93,264.
Nagaland today reported 98 positive cases of COVID-19, including 114 recoveries and another one COVID death. The total positive cases in the state stands at 8,824, while 6,869 persons have recovered from the infection. So far, 28 persons have died due to infection, while 6 deaths are not COVID-related and 5 deaths are currently under investigation. Health Minister S. Pangnew Phom, in a tweet, informed that 71 cases were detected from Dimapur. At present, there are 1,840 active cases, while 76 cases have migrated. In Manipur, 205 fresh cases of COVID-19 were detected and 6 more succumbed to disease, while 212 recovered in the last 24 hours. According to COVID Common Control Room, the total confirmed cases reached 17,809, while 4,233 are active cases. Altogether, 13,420 have recovered so far. The recovery rate stands at 75.35. COVID-related death stands at 156. Maharashtra government today wrote a letter to the railways requesting to resume local train services for general public while ensuring adherence to following the COVID-19 protocols. The state government has also proposed a timetable to start the local services for general public. The railway is yet to respond on the proposal given by the state government.
Kishore Rajan Nimbalkar, Secretary, Disaster Management Relief and Rehabilitation, has sent a letter to the Central and Western Railway officials asking them to take necessary precautions and allow local train travel in a timely manner. The state government has also proposed a time schedule for the same. According to the proposed schedule, the general public will be able to travel on a valid ticket from the first local in the morning till 7:30 a.m., then from 11:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and from 8 p.m. till the last local. QR codes will not be required for travel during this period. Emergency service personnel will be able to travel with valid QR code and identity cards from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Apart from this, a request has also been made by the state government to release women's special local trains every hour. The local train services for general public will only start after the approval of the railway administration. Sweetie Jain, AR News, Mumbai.
In the ongoing fight against COVID, Uttar Pradesh government has started a digital library to help students in higher education to get the education content in digital format. Deputy Chief Minister and Education Minister of State, Dr. Dinesh Sharma, inaugurated the digital library. He said this library will help poor students a lot who are unable to purchase costly books now. Now they can freely download everything available in the library related to their course. AIR correspondent reports that
the library has more than 35,000 e-content related to 134 subjects in Hindi and English. It can be accessed by any student free of cost. A team of around 1,700 educationists and technical experts of 23 universities work together for the content of digital library. NIC developed the library in a very short span, keeping in view the hurdles in the way of higher education in current scenario due to COVID. The library became popular instantly and has more than 61,000 hits now. The digital library has lectures of the best available teachers on the topic, and there are audio-visual lectures also. Higher Education Department of the state has issued helpline numbers for the students in case they found any problem in the access of content. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The first Indian to win 2 individual gold medals at the Summer Paralympics, Devendra Jhajaria, has appealed to the people to follow the 3 steps enumerated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to fight coronavirus. Talking to AIR News, Jhajaria said people should avoid crowded places in the view of the upcoming festive season.
नमस्कार, मैं देवेंद्र झाझरिया आप सभी से अपील करना चाहूँगा इस कोरोना महामारी में भीड़ भाड़ वाले एरिया में बिल्कुल भी ना जाएं। बहुत ही जरूरी काम हो तभी आप घर से बाहर निकलें, और घर से बाहर निकले तो मास्क लगा के आप जरूर जाएं और कम से कम 2 गज की दूरी रखें एक दूसरे व्यक्ति से आप।
Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today digitally inaugurated the radio diagnosis facilities at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Bathinda. He also inaugurated the MBBS student hostel. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Harshvardhan said the setting up of new AIIMS at Bathinda will not only transform health education and training, but will also address the shortfall of healthcare professionals in the region. eSanjeevani, the Health Ministry's telemedicine initiative, has completed 6 lakh teleconsultations. It took only 15 days to complete the last 1 lakh consultations. In what can be seen as a big push for the Digital India initiative, the eSanjeevani digital platform has proved its usefulness and easy access for the caregivers and the medical community and those seeking healthcare services in the time of COVID.
The Vice-Chancellor of Delhi University, Professor Yogesh Tyagi, has been suspended in connection with the allegations of dereliction of duty. President Ramnath Kovind, in his capacity as visitor of the Delhi University, has also ordered an inquiry into the allegations of dereliction of duties and lack of commitment and devotion to duty against Professor Tyagi. All the orders issued by or issued with the approval of Professor Tyagi during the period of his absence on medical ground after Pro Vice-Chancellor Professor P.C. Joshi assumed the charge of Vice-Chancellor of Delhi University on 17 July 2020 have been set aside. The Ministry of Education in its order also said that Vice-Chancellor Professor Tyagi is not administering the university in accordance with statutory provisions, which has caused misgovernance and malfunctioning of the university. The election for the 4 seats of Karnataka Legislative Council concluded today peacefully. At 5 p.m. when the voting ended today, the voter turnout in Northeast Teacher constituency was 73.32%, in Bangalore Teachers it was 66%, in Southeast Graduates it was 75%, and in West Graduates constituency it was 70.11%. The counting of votes will be held on November the 2nd.
India today hosted the 19th meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO Ministers of Foreign Economy and Foreign Trade. In his opening remarks, Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal said the current crisis due to COVID-19 is a clarion call to the SCO countries to leverage the economic strength and explore partnerships that enhance trade and investment in the region. He said cooperation should be continued to enhance intra-SCO trade and investment, which would be critical in ensuring the speedy recovery from the aftermath of the pandemic. In the meeting, 4 documents were adopted. They include Statement on the Response to COVID-19, which reinforces the need for greater cooperation for access to medicines and facilitation of trade, and Statement on the Multilateral Trading System of Ministers of SCO countries who are WTO members. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today participated in the 10th India-UK Economic and Financial Dialogue on the global responses to coronavirus through video conferencing in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, Mrs. Sitharaman said, India-UK economic ties are important as together they are 2 of the world's top 7 economies with a combined GDP of over $5 trillion. She said the trade between the 2 countries has more than doubled since the first EFD, E-Funds Corporation, in 2007, with bilateral investment supporting over 500,000 jobs across both countries. The minister said this session on sharing of experiences on coronavirus response, domestic priorities and policies for economic recovery will help both the countries refine their policies and help in learning to ensure better outcomes.
The Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, today said international scheduled commercial passenger flights from India will remain suspended until the 30th of November. However, international cargo flights and passenger flights approved by the government will continue to remain operational. The Civil Aviation Regulator said international scheduled flights may be allowed on selected routes on case-to-case basis. Air connectivity between Bangladesh and India resumed today with 2 flights leaving Dhaka under the air bubble arrangement between the 2 countries. The service was inaugurated at the Hazrat Shah Jalal Airport in Dhaka by the High Commissioner of India in Bangladesh, Vikram Duraisamy, and the Chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority of Bangladesh, Air Vice Marshal Mafizur Rahman. We have a report.
The resumption of the air connectivity between Bangladesh and India through the special mechanism of air bubble arrangement has come as a big relief to people travelling between the 2 countries. It has been welcomed especially by the people who needed urgent medical support in India. 2 flights of the US Bangla Airlines left the Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport in Dhaka for Kolkata and Chennai today. Thanking the Civil Aviation Ministry for the start of the air bubble service, High Commissioner Vikram Duraisamy said that it will be especially useful for people with medical emergencies. He said the services will help in strengthening people-to-people contact between the 2 countries. The flights between 2 countries have resumed after nearly 8 months. The travel between India and Bangladesh was disrupted due to the outbreak of corona pandemic. Rajesh Jha for AIR News, Dhaka.
This is All India Radio giving you the news.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the Ekta Divas celebrations to commemorate the birth anniversary of Lauh Purush Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel at Kevadia, Gujarat on the 31st of October. He will offer floral tributes at the Statue of Unity, administer the Ekta Pledge and witness the Ekta Divas parade on the occasion. As part of the integrated development of Kevadia, Mr. Modi will inaugurate various projects on the 30th and 31st of October. These include the flag-off of the Ekta Cruise Service to the Statue of Unity, the inauguration of the Ekta Mall and Children Nutrition Park. The Prime Minister will also launch the seaplane service connecting Statue of Unity in Kevadia with Sabarmati Riverfront in Ahmedabad. Chairman of the 15th Finance Commission, N.K. Singh, and its members today held a virtual meeting with the Chairman of previous Finance Commissions, Dr. C. Rangarajan, Chairman of the 12th Finance Commission, and Dr. Vijay Kelkar, who was the Chairman of the 13th Finance Commission. N.K. Singh began the meeting by calling it a representation of our federal history over the past 20 years and over the next 5 years, given the award of the 15th Finance Commission. 15th Finance Commission is mandated to submit its final report for 2021 to 26 by 30th of October.
The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Sanjay Pandey of GB Pant Hospital will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. Repeat, 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. Defence Secretary Ajay Kumar said the Union Government is looking forward to doubling the number of defence MSMEs in the next 4 to 5 years. In a virtual event, he launched the Coimbatore District Defence Innovation and Atal Incubation Centre established by the District Small Industries Association. This is part of the second Defence Corridor project that had been inaugurated by former Defence Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman in January 2019. The Defence Corridor project aims at increasing the proportion of Make in India products in the defence sector.
In IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore were 134 for 5 in 17 overs against Mumbai Indians in Abu Dhabi a short while ago. Earlier, Mumbai Indians won the toss and opted to bowl. Yesterday, Sunrisers Hyderabad defeated Delhi Capitals by 88 runs at Dubai. In tomorrow's match, Chennai Super Kings will fight with Kolkata Knight Riders at 7:30 in the evening at Dubai.
Equity benchmarks today witnessed losses of around 1.5% amid negative global cues. The rupee depreciated 16 paise against the American dollar. And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital of Delhi will experience mist. Temperature will hover between 15 and 32 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, sky will be mainly clear. The lower level of temperature in the metropolis will be 23 degrees Celsius and the upper level will be around 35 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will oscillate between 25 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is expected to have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature in the metropolis will be 24 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 32 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky with minimum temperature being 12 degrees Celsius while maximum being 31 degrees Celsius. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be 1 degree Celsius and maximum will be 21 degrees Celsius with mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. Leh will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be -7 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be nearly 14 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will witness a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm with temperature moving from 3 to 21 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, the lower limit of temperature will be 10 degrees Celsius while upper limit will be 27 degrees Celsius. The sky will be mainly clear. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 12 and 30 degrees Celsius. Mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening in the city. Chandigarh is likely to witness a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 13 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 31 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, the minimum temperature will be 18 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 31 degrees Celsius. The city will have a partly cloudy sky with haze. Ahmedabad is expected to have a mainly clear sky. The city will have a minimum temperature of 20 degrees Celsius while maximum temperature will be around 36 degrees Celsius. Patna may see a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 17 and 32 degrees Celsius. And in Guwahati, a partly cloudy sky with haze is expected. Temperature is likely to vary between 23 and 32 degrees Celsius. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Over 53% of votes polled in first phase of Bihar Assembly elections. Defence Minister appreciates the role of Indian Army in handling current security situation. COVID recovery rate reaches close to 91%. Delhi University Vice Chancellor suspended for dereliction of duty. And in IPL, Mumbai Indians win the toss, elect to field against Royal Challengers Bangalore in Abu Dhabi. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.